On the 28th of June 2022, the president of the Landscape Institute took a fateful decision. She informed the membership that, following a whistleblowing disclosure, the board unanimously asked the council to set up a committee of inquiry. In its report, the committee recommended that President-elect Brodie McAllister be removed as a trustee, and they passed a new regulation to stop him from being re-elected to any office in the Landscape Institute, unless it changes its mind at some future date. In Britain, whistleblowing law is covered by the 1966 Employment Rights Act as amended by the Public Interest Disclosure Act of 1998, which protects individuals who make certain disclosures of information in the public interest. Whistleblowing laws protect the person who makes the disclosure from victimization by their employers. This is needed because most disclosures deal with matters that are illegal, immoral, or illegitimate. 4 of the most famous whistleblowers are Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, Daniel Ellsberg, and Deep Throat of Watergate fame. Whistleblowing laws are designed to protect the weak from the strong. This is good, but it is not what happened in the Landscape Institute. Quite the reverse. The procedure was used by the strong against an individual in a relatively weak position. The original whistleblower is widely believed to have been a very senior person in the Institute, and much of the evidence against the president-elect came from board members, trawled by lawyers at enormous financial cost and only disclosed to the advisory council on condition of absolute secrecy. A further anomaly is that the text of the disclosure has not itself been disclosed. In fact, the whole affair is much more like a boardroom battle than an action in the public interest. It looks as though board members unanimously disliked the candidate chosen by the membership and wanted somebody else to have the job, possibly a friend. This impression is supported by the fact that on the very day the president-elect was dismissed, the board introduced a new regulation to prevent him from standing in future elections. To me, this is an example of victimization, not an example of using whistleblowing law to protect against victimization. What do you think? I can't see anything that Brody is reported to have done can have harmed the public interest. Quite the reverse. My own belief is that landscape architecture contributes a great deal to the interests of the public, and, as Brody set out in a series of videos, he has a vision for how this can be developed and enhanced in a changing world. The board seems to have disliked his ideas and to have been against change. Okay, fair enough. Its members are entitled to their views, but they should have thought more than twice before overturning an election result. I should also mention a specific charge against Brody. He is accused of having used a homophobic word, once only, and in a small, private online meeting. He denies the charge, and there is absolutely no supporting evidence for him ever having been homophobic. All these matters should have been dealt with by a discussion in the presence of a mediator. There is no possibility of them having damaged the public reputation of the Landscape Institute, and the board's response is, in every respect, disproportionate. Its legal advice is believed to have cost a six-figure sum, and, unsurprisingly, it caused the victim to experience mental health problems. No legal support was offered to Brody, who was, of course, a member of the board and should have been treated in a caring and nurturing manner, which is proclaimed as one of the LI's core values, as it should be. 6. Landscape Institute past presidents and a wider group of senior members have advised the board that their policy is wrong. But instead of discussing the issues, the management has stopped responding to emails, refused permission for the objectors to email fellow members, and employed a firm of reputation consultants that, it appears, has advised that least said, soonest forgotten. This can work in a domestic context, but rarely succeeds at work, where transparency is a much better policy. So what can be done? Obviously, there should be an independent inquiry. If this isn't done, Brody's reputation will remain sullied, and other candidates will be reluctant to stand for election, especially if they have visions of new ways in which the landscape profession can benefit the environment and society. Buggins will become the favourite in all future elections, which is not in the public interest. Please contact your local branch if you share our concerns. You can't contact the president because we haven't got a president.